Right now it's time to welcome our 3PL expert and host of Check Call, Mary O'Connell, to the show. Mary, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Great to have you, as always, with us here. And we've got a really exciting event coming up this week that is right in your wheelhouse. Our 3PL Summit is coming up. Let's talk a little bit about what folks can kind of gain out of this event.
So the 3PL Summit, it's going to be good not just for individual 3PLs and freight brokers. There's stuff there for shippers and carriers and you name it. There's something there for everyone, whether it's kind of how to, if you're a shipper looking to maybe change your base carriers or work with your 3PL to make sure that you're actually getting the service and the price and everything that you want. There's tips there for that. If you're a 3PL looking to grow your business, there's tips there for that. There's a little bit of something for everyone, which I'm really, really, really excited about because I mean, it never hurts to get some more information, and there's some really amazing conversations with some very intelligent and experts in the industry.
And Mary, as you mentioned, there's going to be a lot of great conversations, of course, some great fireside chats, maybe a really cool keynote by one of our very own here. When we're looking at this, of course, you are a 3PL expert. Is there an underlying theme or a general takeaway that you think is really going to be kind of focused on, or something that you're going to be interested in hearing from some of these conversations around some of the changes within the 3PL segment over the last year or so?
I am actually very excited for a lot of the specifically, like, I don't want to say like the personal development, but some of the reasons to maybe focus on some of the things that might be overlooked traditionally, like the cross training, what the future looks like for 3PLs. The space is changing even from what it was 5 to 10 years ago. So it's really going to be, I'm really excited to see how people have been able to leverage technology, use that technology to grow their business, and basically remove some of those manual processes. So for example, like you're not having people sitting there on the phone for 15 or for an entire day, talking to drivers, finding out where they are. Some people have implemented digital track and trace, and they're being able to take those positions that had manual people working on it, and through implementing new technologies, they were able to basically put those people into other areas in their organization that needed help and needed the assistance. So I'm really excited to kind of have that kind of spread out in the world, and that way more people can take advantage of that and make sure that they have bodies on problems that are actually problems, not something that you can automate, and not spend your entire day talking to drivers if you can just simply send them the text message or have an EDI update.
Mary, I think that's such a good point to bring up, not having people doing work just for the sake of doing work, right? Just for busy work almost. And when you see those kinds of processes in the industry right now, there's stuff that bogs down a broker, right? There's these processes that you're doing every single day that could be made easier if you implement that technology into your life. What are some of those things that you think could be automated instead? Obviously, it's case-to-case specific, brokerage specific, but just kind of overall generally, what do you think really has the means for automation right now?
I think the easiest quick win for an automation is track and trace. I mean, it's something that you walk into any brokerage, any 3PL, there's going to be a team of operations support specialists that are making phone calls, following up on e-driver, ETAs, et cetera, to be able. And that's like a team of like sometimes up to like 10 to 12 people. I'm not saying that you need to get rid of your operations support team. Absolutely under no circumstances is that what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you might not need a team of 10 to 12. You might need a team of 2 to 3 if you can implement software that through just automatically runs every day at 7 a.m. Anything that hasn't delivered, it'll send out a text message or a ping or whatever to a driver or like to an operations support on the carrier side to automatically update those ETAs. So that way, when your operations support team comes in for the day, they already have status updates that if it doesn't automatically like transfer back into your system to update, then they don't have to make all those phone calls. They already have all the information that they need for the day.
Mary, I think you make a great point here, especially with a lot of that automation. And speaking kind of along those same lines, one of the big areas that's always really been a talking point within the space as of late was digital. And just curious to hear on your end, how do you see the outlook for digital brokerages moving forward versus maybe some of the more traditional styles that we've seen in the past?
I think that it's certainly, for at least the next 5 to 10 years, I think that a digital brokerage has a lot of advantages that a traditional might not. But then at the other side of the coin, there's some advantages that a traditional brokerage has that a digital one might not. So it's kind of going to be I think that there is certainly a place and there is a future for digital brokerages. It's very interesting to see how the space will develop and grow because automation is certainly the way of the future. Shippers want more integration. Carriers want more integration. There should be a more seamless flow of technology, which is a goal that doesn't always happen. But there should be a more seamless flow of technology that can really just kind of help facilitate everything for everyone, because the least amount of people you have working on a project, spending manual hours on, that's going to improve your costs, it's going to improve your margins, it's going to improve everything. So I think there's certainly a place for the digital freight brokerages, and then the traditional 3PLs that aren't necessarily as adapting to technology and updating their legacy systems and making sure that, they are staying at, not necessarily they don't have to be at the groundbreaking forefront, but at least meeting up with some industry standard levels of technology. I think if they don't step up and meet up to some of those, that unfortunately it might not work well for them. But hey, I'm not running that brokerage. They could make it work. But they would certainly face a lot of challenges that other brokerages that have invested in the technology and taken the time to, remove some of those legacy systems, replace them with something else. If you're not meeting the baseline industry standard of, I want to be able to log in, see my entire shipment data, my historic shipping volumes, my revenue, and where all of my current shipments are located, then I think that that's going to really hold you back, because that's some of the stuff that digital freight brokerages are offering that shippers do like.
So when it comes to that tech, of course, we always have demos involved in these events. Last question for you, Mary. Is there any tech demo that you are most excited to check out, or is there a tech company that you really, really like what they're doing right now?
So I think there's like 30 something demos. No, that's for the future of supply chain.
I think there's like 8 or 9, which is a ton for a virtual event for us still.
Right. There are 8 or 9 for the 3PL Summit. I'm really excited for, I don't know, there's just so many good ones. I don't know if I could pick one for this one. Selfishly, I do really like what Text Locate is doing, because as someone who used to spend her entire day emailing carriers and shippers, and my entire job was contacting people for ETAs, to be able just to send everyone a text message, that would have made my life so much easier. And it would have meant that I spent only like 20 minutes on ETAs instead of 7 hours. So I really like that. But also, like, there's just so many good demos coming. There's so much technology advancement in this space. And I think it's just, the future is like, there's endless potential for people with their technology advancement.
Awesome, Mary. Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm sure that we'll see a bunch of you during the 3PL Summit on Wednesday. Have a great day, and then we can catch Check Call tomorrow as well, right?
Yes, you'll be able to catch Check Call tomorrow at 12:30. And thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited for the the virtual event on Wednesday.
Absolutely. We'll see you then. And if you haven't gotten registered yet for that virtual event, head over to live.freightwaves.com. Of course, we have a door prize tomorrow as well, but you can't win that door prize if you don't get registered for it.
That's right. And it's more than just an event, Kaylee. It's also a full-on experience. It's going to be tons of networking opportunities for you, as if you were maybe seeing on our new and improved FreightWaves app. I know we're promoting a lot right now. There's a lot going on, but it's just an awesome time there. So looking forward to that one as well. But